I would say that's a really important point that we've talked about it a little bit on some of the John stuff, but the workflow aspect is so much more important than people give it credit for. If you have like decent gear that's like serviceable, functional, gets you from A to B, and everything works and everything is consistent, the computer fires up, the monitoring sounds okay, like, and the headphones are working, the monitor mix on the headphones is right for the vocalist. If all that stuff is right, I'd much rather have that than the most expensive gear with like a cable on the fritz, because that'll drive you fucking insane. And you have to be able to, you know, so much of what we do, and again, it may be slightly different if you're a mix engineer versus a producer versus a tracking engineer versus an artist, whatever, but people underrate workflow so much, especially when I was coming up, or I go to like friends' studios, or just like starting out. So many things have the like, oh, the headphone doesn't quite work. It's a lot like, that's the fucking worst thing. Just fix that immediately. Fix that before you worry about upgrading your Focusrite to some fancy preamp. Get working headphones. Get monitoring setup that sounds good. I mean, getting a good computer that works, that doesn't crash, that's fast enough. That's where you should be spending your money and making sure. And I forget that oftentimes too, where I'm like, it's actually one thing going back to Eric Valentine, which I loved about Eric, when a piece of gear like a MIDI keyboard wouldn't work, and you know where I'm going with this, he would take it out in the parking lot and smash it. And it gives you the, like a MIDI keyboard on the fritz, the USB wasn't working. It's like, this is a $300 keyboard. Of course, he can afford this. So it's not just, you know, you don't want to go just smashing your gear, but like, this $300 MIDI keyboard isn't working. Why are we spending any time? Like, it's just fucking up the workflow. We're going to take this thing out. We're going to smash it. And we have the catharsis of just like breaking it in the parking lot, hitting with a baseball bat, throwing it, and then it's gone. You have to replace it. So the idea that you can have stuff that kind of works and the cable's a little bit like, fuck all of that. Get rid of all that and it'll be better than upgrading your preamps or something.
Yeah, get the basics. You know, it's like a lot of cooking analogies there. Like you need your pots and pans, you need your basic chef's knife, you need, you know, salt, pepper. Like don't go buying a pasta machine, you know, before you have like all of this shit figured out, you know.